Nike really with a slam dunk in the last 24 hours. We saw Adidas walk away from their deal with the NBA. Really, they just couldn't make any money on it. Why does it seem that Nike can?
Well, look, Nike has an amazing track record of figuring this out, right? Sponsorships with the best games, the best players, and I just think it's a competitive asset and a competitive edge for Nike.
Keep going.
Do you think that Nike has a big opportunity in women right now? Just this week, we saw Lululemon absolutely crush it.
Yeah.
Is that a space where Nike is turning and saying, how did these guys come out of nowhere and are making some strides?
Nike.
I wouldn't say nowhere.
Not nowhere, but think about where Phil Knight came from, how long Nike has existed, and suddenly Lululemon is, you know, kind of every woman's
on that time scale. Yes, I don't know.
Look, Nike has a lot of passion and conviction for the women and the women athlete, and you're seeing new commercials, new designs, new sponsorships. I think that Nike's going to make significant inroads in the women's business.
Michelle, as a director, are you worried about Nike's exposure in the FIFA scandal?
Look, Nike, first of all, it is a privilege to be a director. It's an extraordinary company, and I think they've made it abundantly clear that they strongly oppose any forms of manipulation or bribery, and that they're cooperating with the authorities. But speaking of fashion, have you seen the sky-high wedges? That's the new shoe to get from Nike.
The sky-high wedges.
Sky-high wedges.
Female, the high heels that are a sneaker.
And a wedge, and they even have them in gladiator sandals.
Does this speak to the fact that women's wear, this active leisure, women are now attaching their sportswear to their fashion?
I think so. You see it on the runway. You know, lay Nike aside, what you're seeing, this trend on the runway of just mixing this high-low and this notion that you can wear a fabulous Prada dress and you can wear the Gladiator Nike Sky Wedge sandals.
Yes, but it's not easy to pull off for some people.
No, not for me.
When it goes wrong, it goes catastrophically wrong.
I think that's why you need to turn to Gilt, because we'll always show you how to shop the look to make sure you get it right.
So when Gilt does tell me how to shop the look, don't you run the risk that I'm going to take your editorial and go elsewhere? I'm going to take what you've taught me and I'm going to walk downstairs and go to Topshop or Zara or H&M. How do you keep that consumer? As you said, now that we have the internet, I can browse from you and buy from someone else.
And the difference at Gilt is you don't have a lot of time to check out. There's urgency. If you wait till 12:05, 12:10, 1 o'clock, there's a good chance it's sold out. And so one of the things that's always been part of that Gilt model is come for an appointment at noon. And if you wait too long, it's going to be sold out. So we work hard to try to make sure that you're finding pieces you can't find elsewhere, those designers from Europe that you're not seeing at the Topshops and the H&Ms. And then there's a bit of urgency. You know, you've got to move.
So many of the nation's larger and more successful retailers have learned perhaps a little too much from your success, Gilt's early days success. So how do you track the business that you're losing to Last Call, for example, or to Nordstrom Rack?
Look, we have humility every single day about how do you, in retail especially, every day has got to be better. And maybe especially at Gilt, because every day is a whole new store. So, of course, we track versus traditional flash players versus total retail and the like in terms of sales, and want to make sure that we're seeing growth above total retail, of course. But more than that, you know, the nice thing about running a place like Gilt is you just have so much data. And so you can see how many people came to the site, how many people looked at the sales, how many people put things in their cart. That's the stuff where that engagement is critical to us.
Take your data and look at across the board how retail sales have been down. And what do you make of it? Not Gilt specifically, but just retail.
I think the consumer is being cautious. I think she wants a deal. I think she's holding back a little bit. I think the sort of recession we went through was tough. And
is something going to break that?
You know, let's see what May does. I know there's a lot of skepticism yet, and when that is going to rebound. But she's been saving for a while. At some point, I think that she'll come back and spend.
What percentage of your sales are to women, and what percentage are to men?
53% of our sales are for women, and the rest is between our women's business, and the rest is between our men's, home, and kids business.
Is it mostly women buying for men?
So interestingly, it's not. Usually in retail, you see exactly your point. It's that women sort of dressing the man and maybe a little bit aspirationally dressing the man. At Gilt, 70% of our men store sales are from men. And that speaks, I think, a little bit to we have this urban, global, worldly customer who has a point of view on style.